YouTube, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'd like to take a second to thank you for being here with me today and for all the amazing support. You guys are absolutely a part of the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. The channel's really close to 5,000 subs, so if you like what you see here today and you're not subscribed, why not drop a sub? In return, I'll continue to try and upload videos that mean something without the silver and gold pumping. So today we're going to talk about something I did with my stacking that I've never done before, and that's sell some of my silver. Yep, I actually went there. I did it. I've never sold even a single ounce of silver since I started this crazy journey, but I kind of wanted to get a feel for it. And I'll show you a video clip of doing just that at the coin shop. But before I get into it, let's take a quick look at silver spot price. We can go back to March, the beginning of March. We were looking at $22.85 an ounce, and then we know that took a serious climb. We topped out at 29 and change, and then came the downfall a little bit. So we're holding steady right now at I believe 27.08 at the time of this video. So you know, it's staying consistent, at least between 27 and 28. Like many of you, I've kept an eye on silver spot price hovering in that range, that 27 to 28 range, for some time. And as I watched it slide to the low 27s, it got me thinking. I'm well over the goal for ounces that I set for silver years ago. I mean, I went way over it. So why not take some profit for once and turn it back into silver if or when the price drops again over the summer, which I'm anticipating. I mean, the stuff I sold had a DCA of right around $23 an ounce. And I know this because I track what I pay for each and every ounce of silver when I add it to the stack. I just made up an Excel sheet with some formulas, and it works great. Anyway, I did do some thinking on this before I actually went through with it. And these are the pros and cons that I came up with. All right, we'll start off with the pros, and they are, number one, taking profit on one of the higher silver spot prices in years. That money earned goes right into the safe and gets turned around back into silver when the time is right. It's a gamble, but hopefully it'll pay off. Number two, lightening the silver load. Like I said, I exceeded my silver weight goal some time ago, but I've continued to buy each and every week because I really enjoyed doing it. What can I say? Old habits die hard, and I love buying metals. But even with the 170 ounces that I sold yesterday, I'm still well above the goal that I had set initially. So technically, I'm operating on house money, if you want to look at it like that. And number three, believe it or not, it helps out the coin shop. Hey, every ounce counts, and the smaller shops live on inventory coming through the door in addition to their dealer deliveries. So this will help him a little bit. He'll easily sell every last ounce of what I gave him with absolutely no problems whatsoever. And now for the cons, and there's only one big one that I can think of, and that is silver price could always go up. It's just, that's the risk you take. Now, as I said earlier, I sold some silver to take a profit, and I did end up making a nice amount over my DCA. And if you remember, my plan is to store that cash and buy more silver, potentially in the summertime when silver price has a proclivity to hit the doldrums. But what if silver price keeps going up and I timed it really poorly? I mean, what if it's $30, $35 next month and a new floor for silver gets set? Well, that's the gamble. That's the gamble. But none of us can predict the future, so I'm taking a small return now, and I'm not worrying about where silver goes from here. This is the exact reason I chose to sell off only 170 ounces. It's just a small part of the stack. I'm in hold mode with the rest of it, and I'm basically gambling that silver's going to do, hell, what silver's been doing over the last several years, and that's show a spike and come back to earth during the summertime. We'll see what happens, right? Either way, I'm completely comfortable with my decision, and that's the game. If you want to play the game, you got to take a little bit of risk here and there, but I didn't risk enough to affect my stack, really. Anyway, let's roll the video that I took at the coin shop, and we'll see how things went. I apologize for the emojis everywhere, but I realized my full freaking name was on the invoice. Duh.
Made money on all this, so.
So we sold some silver. Yep, we sold some silver. Look at all that. What did we do, 170 ounces?
170 ounces.
170 ounces.
Mixed and
A little
1
bit of
ounce
everything.
rounds, yeah.
A little bit of everything. Down here, a Raleigh gold coin. Look at the shine. Isn't that beautiful?
Molly elephants, yeah, them were nice.
I wonder where that came from.
That came from right here.
All this came from you anyway. Came right back, full circle.
That's just a higher price.
And there is the check, $4,862. Not bad. With a DCA of $24 an ounce. So we're down at Raleigh Gold Coin Dealers. Best prices in town. Go see them.
All right, so you saw that I sold 170 ounces, and it was a fairly generic stack of silver with the exception of the tube of maples. The 10-ounce bars were generic, as were most of the rounds. So my DCA for this stuff that I picked out to sell was right around the $23 range when I bought it. I think I said 24 in the video, but it was actually 23. And if we do the math, it works out like this. 170 ounces bought at 23 an ounce. That equaled a $3,910 initial investment. Fast forward later when I sell, 170 ounces sold at $28.60 on average for a total of $4,862, and that is a difference of $952 ROI, or return on investment. Not too shabby. So let's say silver drops down to, I don't know, I'm calling for 25 or lower this summer, and I reinvest that $4,862 back into it. Well, that'd actually end up getting me 194 ounces, actually 194.5 ounces of silver, when I initially started with the 170 that I sold. So 24.5 more ounces are added to the stack with reinvesting that money, assuming silver hits $25 again, which I think it will. And if it does, again, my little gamble just netted 24.5 extra ounces of silver just for selling a small portion of my stack. Now, if I have any fortitude, I could wait it out a little bit longer and see if silver drops back to below 25, which would net me even more in return and more silver. It's all part of the game, guys, and it definitely depends on your risk tolerance if you choose to sell and reinvest your profits. So we're going to start wrapping this video up, but before I do, let's go over one more thing, and this is if you're on the fence about selling off part of your stack and maybe taking some profits. I know a lot of us are diehards and our silver is untouchable, but I'm from a different breed in that I like to be aggressive with money. That approach very likely won't fly with a lot of folks, and I get it, that's okay. But if you're thinking about selling and taking some profit, here are a couple things to keep in mind when it's probably not a good idea. Number one, if you're selling without a plan for the money you get back, remember, inflation eats away at the dollar, so it's better to reallocate those returns into some kind of investment sooner rather than later. In my case, I'm gambling that silver will hit its annual summer dip, so I'll return the funds I made back to silver and get more ounces in return. And I have a contingency if silver keeps going up, I'll probably put that money into gold. Number two, you don't want to sell if you're selling at a loss. Come on, this is basic economics 101 here. Unless you absolutely have to have the funds, you never want to sell your silver at a loss. It makes no sense, none. Again, unless there are underlying circumstances. This is why I always preach about stacking cash in addition to metals. You've got to have an emergency fund so you don't have to sell off your metals. Makes sense, right? And number three, if you're selling out of panic, if you're one of those chart watchers and you're seeing the price of silver plummeting, then that's not a great time to sell your silver. Yet I see it happen constantly. Remember, it's a long hold. If you do the route that I just did with doling out some ounces for a profit here and there, that's different. But selling in panic mode, that typically means you're going to get a poor return and lose what you have in your silver. All right. There you have it, folks. So one thing to keep in mind if you do decide to sell some of your silver, do the research. Do the research and figure out the most secure and profitable way to do it. Now, I went to my LCS because I trust the owner implicitly, and he consistently has the best buyback prices in my area, along with the sell prices. He's just one of the best. But you can consider the big online dealers if you're willing to ship out your metals. Kind of a pain in the ass, which is why I prefer to deal locally, but to each their own. Also, you can hit the pawn shops, but those should absolutely be a last freaking resort. They suck. The returns you're going to get are typically lowball offers, and you can definitely do better. Personally, I avoid the pawn guys when it comes to metals. Anyway, be sure to comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about selling your silver, if you've done it, or if you plan on doing it, or if there's no way in hell you're selling a single ounce. I love going through the comments, so make sure you sound off. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. If you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up in the next episode. In the meantime, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
I want to stack.
Damn right. get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out. Oh, yeah. Peace, folks.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Oh, yes. And what was that beginning, middle, and end part again?